Yeah, so you'd have plenty of advice for them.
Where do you start?
Well, then I've got my daughter, so it's good having a daughter around that age because you understand the two ends. I don't want to be too good to you. I want to kick your ass a bit too because I don't want to make it too easy because you're going to have falls. If I cotton wool you and I say you're going to be great at everything, I said you're going to play rugby. Get ready to get smashed and get up because it's going to hit you. You think you're doing all these drills, you're going to be all right. You're going to get smashed. Get up. It's going to happen. So she's ready for that, right? But if I go, mate, everything's going to be sweet, nothing's going to be sweet. That's playing rugby, playing any game is the game of entrepreneurship. It's the game of life. It's the same thing. You're going to get hit, smashed. You're going to get hurt, you're going to get back up, you're going to have a win, you're going to lose. How are you going to handle all that? That's all the things that are going to happen. But be on the offense. Don't go into the day negative. Be on the offense. You might not have the best day, but you're still on the offense. You might lose a few deals, but you're still on the offense because you're trying to come back. And that's what I try and tell everyone. Like, I've done a fair few sessions this week with the team. I probably overloaded myself, to be perfectly honest, but I had to take that challenge on. And the whole week's going to be busy with video content and interviewing people. And the seminar tomorrow where I'm going to get as deep as I can. And to be perfectly honest, when I looked at that schedule, I go, you're pushing yourself a bit hard here. So if you do break down, you've done it on yourself. So don't blame anyone, take responsibility. That's what I said to myself. So that's cool, right? I don't care if I go down. I'll get back up. But I'll learn from that experience as well.
I think, I really think there's something in, the hardest times bring out the toughest people.
Definitely.
I believe in that with, especially what you've been going through, Metz, in recent times. I've seen it with you over the last 10 to 12 years go through so much adversity to the point where there were times where I'm like, are you just going to keep going? Are you not going to just quit, But I think that's what builds up resilience. If you're not willing to hit adversity in the face and go, come at me, I'm ready for you, then you're not going to build up the resilience to tackle the hard times because the hard times are coming for everybody.
It's like I've been listening to this clinical psychologist. He's really good, and Jules was reading his book. His name's Jordan Peterson. So if you look at life itself, right, there's always a hot and a cold. So there's always good and bad, and that's 50-50. And if you look at marriages now, that's 50-50 as well. So when you understand the two sides of the coin, that good and bad's going to be there, well, you've got a choice now. You go the good, right? So you go the good, but understand bad's going to happen. Like, you've been screwed on a lot of deals and in business and that, right? So you went through that bad, right? And that's there. That's never going to go. It will never, ever go. So when we prepare kids, to go in the workplace, are we over-parenting them? You know what I mean? And saying everything's going to be good. Because it ain't. The school system's not good. I mean, the kids are getting it early anyway. But then when you go to the next phase and you go in workplaces, a lot of places won't have that culture where it's fostering growth and progress for those kids. So then you've got to teach them that those two ends are going to happen. I'm going to get a bad customer that's going to go right at my staff members. Well, how are you going to handle that? Because that's going to happen. You know what? For 14 years, that was happening to me 3-4 times a week at the worst end of let's go outside. We're going to punch on now. And when I tell my team that, they're like, I've done this little seminar for the team, gave them a brief history. They freaked out. I said, look, that was normality though. If I look at my life, we were brought up that way. Like you either stand up for yourself or you get beat up, right? Totally against that now, right? But that was what life was. You're in the front line, and so I'm always optimistic and on the offense. I don't want to be negative, but I understand the other side, and there's not enough people that understand that side. They go, oh, I'm going to smile, I'm going to be optimistic, everything's going to work out, I'm just going to wish good luck. Well, what action are you taking? What action are you actually taking? How many times are you getting knocked out and getting back up? Because, mate, the last 7 weeks, that's full on, man. That's at the height of getting knocked down. You know, and it's extremely, like, it was the hardest thing I had to go through. So, you know, and then you go, what's the next thing that's going to be that hard? Because there is going to be things that hard again. And you ask yourself then, like, what is it? What's life? What is it? Like, what's the purpose now? And you start questioning yourself in those areas. And then you go, well, it is what it was when you committed to what it really is. And that's adding value and servicing the people every single day to the best of your ability.
And what you go through, Matt, and and the reason, again, why I respect you so much, of that whole 20 plus years of being in business and going from punching on with disgruntled customers to now, you know, like, to now, you know, dealing with more personal issues right now and trying to hold up your business and everything, right? And, you know, running your team. The reason why I admire you so much is because you just keep getting back up. Like, with people, I think a lot of entrepreneurs who are well established can resonate with that, because you just keep getting knocked down, and the only way that you can really overcome that is just get back up again and try again, right?
Yeah.
And the more you get knocked down, I find that the stronger your character becomes. And your story becomes so much more interesting. You become so much more confident, right? Like, even in the last 3 years, it's been an emotional roller coaster for me with all of my business ventures. But it's really shaped me.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, feels like the whole world's caving in.
Yeah.
You know, and we say it so much on this podcast. And this can apply to sports or, you know, like fitness, to your job, your career. Like, it's all the same, right? The more stress and adversity you can handle and come back from, the stronger your character will become. Yeah. Like, this is the result.
That's 100%,
right?
because you're building calluses.
That's it.
Yep. You're building calluses, and then all of a sudden things don't matter as much. That don't matter.
Because you felt that pain before.
It's funny. There was that point where I wanted to feel it, like, really, really deep. I said, hit me hard. Get me hard as you can. Like, just go after me, you know. And I remember I was at my mum's house. It was 10:30 at night. And I said, you know, this isn't good. But, mate, do your best. Do your best to get me, right? And I'll never forget that moment. That'll be with me forever. So then when things get tough, I'll remember that moment. And it's funny, my dad's pictures, my dad was this guy, just chip away, mate. He's like, when you see Coogee, the amount of work he'd done there, and his photo's right next to my charger. And when I'm not doing something, he's telling me, get off your fucking ass and move, right? Because you get lazy, right? Yeah. And then I got that voice there all the time. You having a shit day? I don't care, man. Move. Every time there was a problem when we were building that place, I go, fuck, Dad, this is... He goes, mate, what are you going to do about it? I go, what am I going to do? He goes, keep working. Keep working. That's what it is. That's what he was like.
It's life.
You've got that forever now.
My dad couldn't speak English. He knew every tradesman. Even every tradesman that ever worked in the place. I don't know, we loved your dad.
Sounds like
he couldn't speak English, but, mate, he made sure everything was in order and clean, and the place was pristine for the next day for the builder to come in, so they knew exactly what they were doing. And that voice is always there. Like, get up, go for a walk. Make sure you eat right. Get back in, work. So what if there's a problem? Make sure you're working. So those things resonate continuously. So, like, what I say to people, you've had that adversity. What did you learn from it, man? What are you going to come of it? You know, like, if there's always areas I can improve, and I could be a lot calmer, for sure. And when you're a go-getter, when you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to go fast, and sometimes you're trying to go fast when you don't have the resources. So then you've got to peg it back. You go, wait a second, maybe we do need more resources. Maybe we've got to work a little bit harder on those areas. So it teaches you, like, those skills from a man that had, you know, limited education, that lost his parents when he was young. You go, how does he have those principles in life? Like, where does he get that from? You know, never spoke bad about anyone. So how could anyone speak bad about him? And those principles are really the principles of life. And every time I think about him, I think of all those things, you know. And that's why, like, adversity can help you so much. You just got to take a step back, take a big deep breath, and go, mate, what have I learned right now? You know, as hard as it is, because it is extremely hard in those moments, and you've been there, and you go, how am I going to get out of it? And you because you're so driven, because you go, mate, I'm gonna. My wife's there, the people that care about me are right there. Man, they've backed me all my life. I'm not giving up now, you know, and that's so important for people to understand that.
Well, Matt, I'm sure your father is watching over you now, going,
Yeah.
you know, what an incredible man I've created, right? And the
Yeah.
culture that he's
Definitely.
instilled from the very beginning that has now resonated down to your family, to your
Yeah.
business. It's amazing. It's amazing. You're a good man, Matt.
No, I
definitely.
appreciate
You're an
that.
inspiration to all of
I
us.
don't, you know, like, honestly, I'm not good with praise. You know what I mean? I've never have been, like, and I think, you know, like, and
You're good
It's-
with criticism.
I'm better with criticism, mate. You know what? I'll tell you what drives me the most, and it's bad, is negativity. Like, if anyone says that I can't do it, that's a driver. You know, I was lucky. I got an older brother, and they've been supportive right throughout my whole life. And there's tough love, right? There's nothing. There's no slaps on the back that you've done a good job. Never. So then praise becomes, because you're just doing what you're doing, man. Even if I told my dad, you've done a great job, he goes, mate, just get out of it. You know? It's just work, man. And so I've never been good with that. Maybe I got to get better at it, but it's not probably my strength, praise. And
Well, you definitely have to recognise it, Matt, because you've done a lot.
yeah, it's all
And
right.
you've done a
It's
lot
good.
for others as well, which has
Yeah.
built this culture.
Yeah.
And that's why we probably get along so well, because I look up to
Yeah.
you with what you've built.
Well,
right?
man, you know,
And it helps
you. Well, let's go back to you, right? Like you said.
Let's talk about
You
me
said
for a
no. Remember when you said at the podcast, Jules? He goes, mate, rev up, mate. What the hell's wrong with you? Put you some scotch, drink, get out there, do something. And I'm telling you, I remember those little things.
Yeah.
And our friend Vic said the same thing.
Yeah.
And now he's doing nothing. No, he's a good bloke, but he's had a challenging week. But mate, it's people like yourselves that do care about, you know, like you care, you know. And you said, man, let's just go for it, man. And so the hardest thing was you got to tell the story. You got to be authentic, and people don't see that side of me, right? And the support's been unbelievable, mate, from everyone in the gym. That's why I wanted to tell the story more, because they're there supporting it. They understand what you're going through. So I go, mate, just tell the story. You know, don't hold yourself back. You're going to help people with the story. That's what you've always wanted to do. You know, something that was really good for me in those 7 weeks was, funny enough, going back into the area you grew up with, no one recognises you. That's so good. So, you know, when you come back to Coogee, the first thing is everyone's watching you, and you go, fuck, this is too much. Everyone's saying their condolences, and that became too much. Even though I appreciate it so much, but, you know, through social media, everyone knows who the owner is, and I'm not good with praise. Like I'm, you know, people go, well, you an extrovert or introvert? I say, mate, a lot of the times I am an introvert. Like I just, you know, you want to be alone, and you want to come back and give so much, and you got to find that space. That's that perfect space so you can perform all the time, because the members matter. They matter. The people that you serve matter. And you got to give them absolutely everything, and you got to be on all the time for them, because they deserve that. And it doesn't matter what I'm going through. Do I need my space? If I'm going to go in there, I'm giving them my time. That's it. You know what I mean?
And that's why it's important to, I guess, open up and be authentic about your story and tell people what you're going through, because then people understand it and they'll be mindful of it, especially with the culture that you've built within your businesses. Where if you just switch off, because you're a social media sensation now, Mets, right? So everyone...
Jules goes, Mets, you're doing shit. This was a shit video, mate. Get your act together. Like last week, he was right. He goes, mate, look at the camera.
Yeah.
He's going, look at the camera, and he was right. And I go, mate, just tell me. I go, because I'll fix that. I'm sweet with that, you know?
But it's good that you tell your story, because, you know, like if you do go missing, you know, and you decide not to be on camera because you want to be that introvert for a little while and just got kind of escape, then people understand that, because there's so much pressure when you put yourself out there. Like I've found that in the last 12 months that I've put myself out there more and more and more. And